Hey, so for the longest time now, I've wondered how much do the Chinese and Japanese belief systems actually differ from the Korean mythology? And while the answer is kind of obvious, because of course they influenced it a lot, there are still quite a few unique mythical beings to Korea, and today I want you to meet them. Before we start though, let's take a quick 30-second break to get on the same page when it comes to Korean mythology. So, to this day, there are shamans in Korea. They spread oral myths during a ritual called Good. And there is a big difference between that and the written mythology, which features stories about the creation of Korean kingdoms. And all of this has to be distinguished from Korean folklore, which can be secular. All stories feature supernatural beings who often lurk in houses, which are considered sacred places. And although this mythology is polytheistic, we cannot establish a genealogy of the gods. Okay, and now we are on the same page, so let's get into some cool mythical beings of Korea. Dangun is a legendary king who is thought to have founded the first Korean kingdom, Gojoseon, over 4,000 years ago. He is worshipped as a heavenly being by some groups of people and is often referred to as the grandson of heaven. His mythical origins involve his father and a bear who turned into a woman called Ungyo and then became his mother. More on that in a second. It's also important to note that Dangun emerged as a central figure of Korean nationalism at the end of the 19th century. Hwanin, also called Hanil, is literally the heavenly father. He is the grandfather of Dangun and an actual sky god. According to one myth, he descended from the sky to become a god and brought 800 men and women with him to populate the land. And there are some claims that it could have happened in Siberia. You know, these mythical origins of Korea aren't the easiest to grasp, but I think the characters are pretty freaking cool. Speaking of which, this is Hwanung, the last piece of our puzzle. For now, he is the son of Hwanin and the father of Dangun. He represents water and wind and also taught humans arts, agriculture and medicine. He longed to live on Earth and one day he was permitted by his father to do so. He then transformed this aforementioned bear into a woman and later took her as a wife. And that's how Dangoong was born. I think this story would make a pretty good movie. Moving on, let's up the pace a little bit. This is MoongShin, literally a door deity. He is one of the Gashin, the household deities, and his worship is the strongest on the Jeju island. There, some people attribute the well-being of the entire house to this deity, as the only way to enter a house is through a door. Seems logical, doesn't it? Gubadishin, on the other hand, is the weakest of the Gashin. He protects the Ngulgub, or the area where the grains are stored. I mean, it's pretty sad. It doesn't have an origin story, and it has the shortest rite dedicated to it during shamanic rituals. It's a dog's life. Okay, you know what? It can always get worse, because Chikshin is literally the toilet deity. Now, I'm not saying this is not an important part of the house, but yeah, her worship also wasn't a big part of the Gashin cult. And yeah, this is supposedly a female deity, and it has a widely specific 150 centimeter long hair. Well, that is what Korean cosmetics will do to you. Opshin is one of the more important Gashin, as it represented the storage room, and by extension, the whole family's wealth. It appeared mostly in animal form, and because of that, people literally used to prevent some creatures, like rat snakes and toads, from leaving the house, because they believed that Opshin was going to live along with them. In poor households with no storage rooms, people used to weave two baskets and placed them in their holes so that Opshin could still reside there. Samshin Halmoni is the goddess of childbirth and fate. Now, Samshin literally means 3 goddesses, and Halmoni, as you probably know, means grandmother, even in an honorific way. And that's how this deity appears, as 3 goddesses in the form of older women. However, sometimes when people just say Samshin, they may refer to a singular deity, which still represents those same things. Jingshin is one of the most popular ones, although her worship is very rare these days. She represented the fire and hearth, so kind of a fireplace. She was thought to embody a bowl of water and was supposed to literally broadcast the events happening inside the house to heaven. And that's why housewife followed a strict code of rules involving the kitchen and the fireplace. Tajushin can be thought of as another Gashin. She represented the ground beneath the house, and that's why she was sometimes referred to as the earth goddess. She was believed to embody a pot of rice or beans, and her origins can be found in the creation myth of Seoul. And Yeongdeung Halman is yet another deity worshipped mainly on Jeju Island. She represented the winds and the sea. She was supposed to visit the island once a year and ask for some fruits of the fisherman's labor, just to then return to her home in the east. Man, everybody wants some bread. Or fish, in this case. And while those are the main individual deities of Korean shamanism, there are still many more groups of creatures unique to this region. So let me show you a couple of them, because sometimes they can be scary AF. Starting with Pulge, who is a literal fire dog. They always chase the moon and the sun and cause eclipses when they get to them both. Tokebi are the most well-known Korean monsters. They possess supernatural abilities and they often use them to trick humans. So watch out for them. Guishin is a wider name for the ghosts and spirits of Korean folklore. They usually represent people who have already died, and like ghosts, they are supposed to be transparent and usually seek revenge. Imyeonjo is a bird with a human face who connects the sky with the land, and his image appears on tombs over a millennium old. Imugi are lesser dragons who appear in the form of giant serpents. You know the image, right? Meanwhile, the Korean dragon is more of a legendary creature and the big boy, if you know what I mean. And they are usually of good nature and also represent the water realm instead of fire. And the 3-legged crow is literally supposed to inhabit the sun, and thus, as a symbol, it literally rivaled the dragons. Now, that's hot. And Gumiho, thanks to Korean dramas, probably the most popular creature, is literally a 9-tailed fox. They can shapeshift into many human forms and usually are supposed to live 1,000 years. And also are incredibly wise thanks to a little fox marble that resides in their body. If only it was that simple. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed and that now you have a better understanding of the indigenous Korean belief system. Of course, I urge you to explore more on your own, but either way, thank you so much and see you next time.